Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Last time, we completed another one of the temples. It was host to many nightmares and also a lot of lava. This time around, we got Ninja Bartz, Time Mage Lena, Summoner Ferris. Basically just a whole lot of stuff I need levels in. And of course, Oracle Krill, but look, 13 more ABP, we're almost done. I'll get ABP up soon. So as always, following the major dungeon, we're going to be going and doing some of the cleanup for various things we can do, though this one involves a lot more than just what we get directly after the last dungeon, because honestly that's mostly just weapons. This doesn't have anything to do with what we need to do right now. This is just Corbett. He's here. Not looking for you, Corbett. Get out of here.
For some reason, the boat just traveling around in circles just made me think like Bart's got the wheel stuck. Everybody's trying to turn it the other way and it won't turn.
There's just a really big whirlpool that we can't see, and we don't have a dragon to get us out of it. Alright, so here's Stingray. This is the enemy we need to find. This will be our source of the second to last blue magic we need. So control him. Alright, Stingray. Show me your stuff. What do you got? You've got Mighty Guard. So, Mighty Guard is a very good, if costly, ability that basically just sets up Protect, Shell, and Float all at once for the entire party. Yeah, it's real good. It is so much more time efficient than anything else in the game for setting up most buffs. Like, the only thing it doesn't give you that you would need is haste. But also, it's already broken enough, and Hastiga exists. We don't need all of that on us at the same time.
And it, it creates a dichotomy between your defensive options and your offensive options. Do you want to throw down Hastiga so everybody can just unload on the enemy, or do you want to throw down Mighty Guard so that they'll survive long enough?
Or I could just throw down both. They don't override.
There's nothing stopping you from doing that. I just mean, like, which should you prioritize?
Yeah, order of operations can be important. I feel like there has to be use cases. Anyway, the other thing about Stingray is he has a lot of HP, if you hadn't noticed. He does not die easily. I also forget which other attack he had on him. It was some water attack, but he of course heals from that, so don't have him use it on himself. Other things worthy of note, Lance is just a really good ability to have in general. That's from Dragoon. Unless you're fighting something undead, it absorbs HP and MP, so it's just all around a good thing to have. It doesn't do the most damage, but honestly, if you just need a filler attack, it's not too bad. It replenishes you. Other thing is, I forget if I mentioned Kaiser Knuckle in the previous episode when we picked it up, but Kaiser Knuckle is incredible for Monk class, because it just ups your damage really good. So, if you've noticed the numbers dropping off for Monk, or if you're just using a low-strength class, Kaiser Knuckle is a great accessory. It's making it so that Oracle actually has a use, and by that I mean I'm punching things with it. Don't want to do any Oracle things, they'll kill me.
Alright, so percentage-wise, how much of the episode is this fight? Oh, thank God.
I mean, more than I'd like it to be. That is worth 20 ability points, though, and that's good, because that means I'm done with Oracle for now. We are immediately changing. I'm not waiting. Fuck that. Nope, nope, nope. We're going to Dancer. Dancer's also almost complete. I did consider going to Berserker, but no, not yet. That would be a terrible idea right now. You can do a lot of things, just don't put Berserk on for what we're about to do.
I think I've talked about this before, but one sort of like structural issue I have with job classes is that you often feel like, or I often feel like I'm spending the most amount of time in the jobs I like the least.
Yeah, in most playthroughs, I don't try to go for as much mastery as I'm doing here, but it benefits the LP and the freelancer class, so I am. Also, here's Sunken Walls Tower. Now that we have a submarine, we can actually access it again. And Bartz knows he can hold his breath for exactly 7 minutes. He's not Guybrush Threepwood, but I guess it's not bad. I couldn't hold my breath for 7 minutes, I would die here. We also have an enemy gimmick of... all of these guys are, I guess, too far away to see in the darkness of these depths. They do function like the enemies normally would, so that prototype or whatever has Blaster. But otherwise, they are just unnamed, so it's kind of hard to tell what they are. You can't really look them up is the thing. Not easily, anyway. You have to know the names ahead of time. Though that being said, they are still a good source of blue magic, technically, and that there's a bunch of them here. You do have a time limit, though, so I also would not suggest this place to grind for blue magic spells.
I was gonna say, sure do hope you can get to where you're going in 3 minutes, because you do have to get back out as well.
Yeah, the good news is, teleport does work. So as long as you have a time mage up and running, or, you know, at the very least level, I want to say 3 time magic, you should be good. And honestly, it's definitely kind of a necessity. There's still a few things that work to your advantage in here, but, yeah, honestly, for peace of mind, you should definitely be carrying, teleport and a way to use it.
And I guess most fights aren't going to take as long as that first fight.
Yeah, that one had a robot in it.
Yeah, that was just scary.
Alright, so we are descending this time around, and as you saw up there, there's a treasure chest. So, what is in that treasure chest? Well... it's air! Got another 7 minutes. I love that Bartz knows exactly how long he has left to breathe. Though also, he said another 7 minutes, the timer just resets to 7, it doesn't add 7.
Bartz, you fucking liar!
I mean, I guess he could have phrased it differently, but he is, you know, 6 minutes away from drowning, so... I can see why he would make a few mistakes. Thank you, Assassin's Dagger. God, this is such a weird mix of enemies, because that was some kind of goblin. I don't know if that's the first goblin, but we haven't seen goblins in general for quite some time. So they're not good. Oh, here we're on the first floor. It has taken the first 2 acts, but now the amazing power of this crystal shard is within my competent grasp. Who is speaking to us, you might be asking? Well, I'm not gonna back down from them. The person in question is the famed mimic Go-Go. Alright, so the gimmick for this fight is that, whatever you try to use, he will kill you with it. So how do we defeat such a fearsome foe? I mean, if we cast Meteor on him, he casts Meteor on us. That's not good at all. So anyway, how you been doing?
I can't tell if it's a stroke of genius or pure malice to have a boss like this with a time limit.
Oh, it's both.
Like, say what you will about this gimmick fight in Final Fantasy IV, like, I think it's really easy to figure out what the game wants you to do even if you are a child. It does literally say a true paladin would sheath his sword. This, you have to, like, think a little abstractly of, like, oh wait, he's mimicking what I do, and he tells me, you better mimic what I do. So you mimic what he does and do nothing, because he doesn't act first. But you have to think about that while you have 6 minutes of air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are drowning, and, this is not a freebie. If it were, we'd be done by now. But no, they really test you. They make sure you think, okay, this is definitely what I need to do.
Yeah. They even have extra dialogue of like, well, I can't do anything if you don't do anything. Just, you know, a little thing to let you know you're on the right track. Fucking who played Earthbound? Who got to that one part of Earthbound and thought that was the funniest thing?
What if you had to do that under duress?
Alright, Ness, you have to stand still for 3 minutes, but in 4 minutes we're going to shoot Paula.
Yeah, you better be timing yourself. We're not gonna tell you when you're done.
You better be real sure you know this is the password.
Gogo was so impressed that we mimicked his nothingness. We're all just standing here, drowning.
Something about this is reminding me of Rules Card from Deltarune. It's like, ah yes, you perfectly mimicked me! That's exactly what I was hoping you would do! I'm not mad, goodbye!
He threw himself into the rift!
At last, after 10,000 years, I'm no longer free! It's time to conquer the rift!
Time to go to hell! Alright, and now it's Mime time. So, Mime is basically Freelancer 2. It gains access to the inherent abilities and stats that Freelancer can access. So again, just about everything you can master, with a few exceptions, will just become available to it. Highest stat goes to it. Its one drawback in comparison to Freelancer is that its equipment pool isn't as good. So, Freelancer can use everything. So, if you're using anything fancy, that's sort of your better option. Mime doesn't have, like, quite as bad a loadout as your average mage, but it's still not as good. However, what it gets in return is the Mimic ability. Mimic will, in a similar way to what Gogo would have done to you if you'd done anything to him, will copy the previous ally's attack, no matter what it is. So yeah, you don't need to have mastered anything in order to mimic something, and it costs 0 MP. So as you might imagine, while it sounds pretty simple, it's actually kind of incredible. It is one of the most broken things in this game, which is why it is the final class, unless you're playing vanilla GBA, in which case there are more classes after this, but point still stands.
The way it was explained to me was you can now use Mimic to cast Bahamut 4 times in one turn.
Yes, if you want to do that, that is a thing you can absolutely do. Summoner goes once, the rest of them continue with Bahamut. Everybody else does the same damn thing.
Oh god, I wasn't even thinking of, like, that many things. I was thinking of using Twin Cast from Red Mage, or Dual Cast, or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, dual cast is also a thing you can do with Mimic.
Summoner does it twice, and then Mimic copies that twice action. If you made everybody Mimics, then that's 8 Bahamuts.
Yeah, so... Like I said, it has all the advantages of Freelancer, plus Mimic, which is just very good, so... Yeah, without Mime, Freelancer is your endgame class, because that's what all the passives go to. Once you get Mime, everybody becomes Mime at the end of the game. They even get fancy capes, too, so, like, why would you not want to take the Mime class? It's good.
Man, but what if they went with the French Mime designs? Just, you know, black and white stripes, white face paint.
Alright, so the cool thing about Jackal Cave is, once the worlds are combined, that passage that led to nowhere actually leads to the underside of Castle Ball, and as it turns out, Odin has been hiding down in the basement all along. So, you have 1 minute to finish this fight before he kills you. So, if you want to make this fight easy, Odin is actually vulnerable to petrification, but I wanted to see if I could kill him without it. Plus, if you petrify him, then you don't get one of the cool/funny things about this fight, which is the music. It's the boss theme, but it just keeps getting progressively faster the closer to dying horribly you get.
God, I love when games do things like that.
Also, thankfully that wasn't a one-hit kill, but god. That's just the one where he cuts your HP in half. 30 more seconds, he'll cut you in half. But yeah, no. Odin's whole thing is Zantetsuken. And look, I remember Zandatsu, so I remember Zan is the prefix cut. I remember that, at least. But yeah, no. Odin's whole thing is that he cuts you in half. As a summon, as long as a thing is not, you know, completely invulnerable to the concept of instant death, Odin is just instant death. Alright, so we're only missing one blue magic spell. We are missing 3 summons, though. We've still got a lot left to go there. However, we're about to go find one of those. So Odin is the second to last bracket of summon spells. We can unlock this now. Not that we particularly need to. Also, here's more object arts. But yeah, we're gonna be unlocking the first of the final set of summon creatures in this video, and then the rest will come soon enough.
I thought for sure you were going to use this fight to show off Odin.
Nah, unfortunately not. The main reason I kept this is because... Krill didn't need much experience to finish Berserker, so that's mastered too. ABP up is very good, by the way. So now we can finally start on Necromancer.
Yeah, whatever the fuck this class is.
So it is potentially pretty good, but also I've not been in many fights with it, meaning I have no dark arts. Alright, so... Still want the Kaiser Knuckles because I'm still unarmed. Have to punch good. Oh, also, if you're wondering, of course, bad idea to bring Berserker to the Go-Go fight, because that just means you fail immediately. That just means he punches you to death instead. But works perfectly fine for Odin. In fact, I would say Berserker excels at fighting Odin, because you just want to kill him very quickly. Alright, so we got 2 more things to do. We're saving weapons for the end because, given the class layout, I didn't really need to pick up the weapons immediately. We can save that as a, end of episode thing. Until that happens, though, a while back we were challenged by Bahamut. Bahamut just flew out after being released, and he said he would go to North Mountain. So the thing about North Mountain in World 3 is, it actually wound up near a very large desert. So we're actually going to need to take a chocobo in order to get to it. Because there's a forest right here, and we are walking the rest of the way. Ah, goddammit.
Fucking hate deserts.
Just immediately get attacked.
This is where you're gonna show off Odin, right? Just gonna say no to this encounter?
Well, look. Technically, we've seen Odin before. Through, via the magic lamp, so isn't that all we truly need?
Motherfucker went out of your way to get Odin and then forgot to use him.
But what if I need that MP later? Don't know why those enemies look so goofy when they get cut apart.
So thinking about the Chocobo still being in frame for that was very funny for me.
We didn't even get away from our parked car, Jesus. Alright, so here's Meteor against some enemies. I feel like this is the least stressful situation I've had Meteor for this whole episode. Because against underwater enemies, using Meteor means I'm drowning while it goes on. It's good damage against Odin, but also he's going to kill you after a minute, and the Meteor animation does take some time. It's potentially very powerful. It just goes on for a bit. I know it doesn't reach the heights of, later Final Fantasy summons, sure, but for this game, it's a lengthy animation. Oh, also worth noting here, I cannot currently heal Krill because she's a necromancer, meaning she's a zombie, but it actually seems like she can heal herself with Jitterbug. Which I'm not going to complain about. I don't know if that's on purpose or an oversight, but you know what? It works. It's actually a reason to not use Lamia Tiara. If you happen to be using a Punch Necromancer, which, why wouldn't you be using a Punch Necromancer? It's pretty good. You're able to heal, without running into the usual problems of being undead.
I'm going to punch the life out of you, then punch the death out of you.
Also, the rock slugs back there, I kept in to show that, yeah, no, the encounters haven't changed on North Mountain. This is exactly the same as it was before. Nothing is tougher. You will just wipe out every enemy here.
Bahamut's hanging out with a bunch of punk-ass enemies to make it harder to grind to fight him.
I mean, admittedly, even with ABP up, I can't actually get the first level of Necromancer, unless I really wait around for it, so... I don't know, not a bad idea. So that being said, you are definitely going to want to save this fight until later. Because if we did this immediately after, we could do it upon getting the purple chocobo, black chocobo, after Bahamut was initially summoned, we would die. Bahamut's pretty tough. I also still love their use of just only showing Bahamut on the overworld. So they don't have to make a gigantic sprite here. He's just larger than everything. He blocks out the sun. Alright, so, Bahamut, you know him, you love him. It's Bahamut. His signature move is Mega Flare, which just hits the entire party for stupid amounts of damage. And he is otherwise also pretty strong. He's basically just here to wear you down until he just kills you with his big mouth laser.
Unfortunately, I cannot think of Bahamut and Mega Flare without thinking about how he's canonically weaker than Donald Duck.
It's true. He does not have Zeta Flare in this fight. There are, in fact, few instances of Zeta Flare ever really existing, so... yeah, as we all know, Donald Duck is canonically one of the strongest Final Fantasy characters. Also, why the fuck did I not use Hastiga? I think I forgot I had it.
And let's also not forget that one fucking turbo nerd from The World Ends With You, I think his name is Sho, who can cast level I Flare, which can hit every level, including levels including imaginary numbers.
Jesus. I've not played World Ends With You, but that sounds
That's
wild.
not a thing they explain. He just says level I Flare, and you have to know what I means in mathematics. Also, he casts it by reciting the first 100 digits of pi.
Fucking nerd.
You beat him in a boss fight, and he just starts going like 3.14592. For like 5 text boxes, and then just blasts.
Speaking of blasts, here he goes. Yes, that's most of our HP.
And that's with shit.
Thankfully, I dealt most of his. Kaiser Knuckles very good.
So, Krill absolutely leapt through the flare to punch Bahamut, right?
Yes, absolutely. Just small child leaping from the explosion. Just fucking auras the king of dragons to death. Or, not to death, into our party. Punch Bahamut so hard. He's just like, alright, I want to be friends with Faris now. Please, thank you. Alright, so that is the first of our final summon level. Bahamut, of course, incredibly powerful as we've seen before. Hitting people with just a big ol' flare is, in fact, a good source of damage. As always, it's very costly for MP, but whatever, you've got Bahamut, what do you care? The nice thing is, I've also been able to master Ninja as well.
Is there like a piece of equipment or a job thing that reduces MP usage?
For certain things, yeah, there is the gold hair clip, which halves MP usage, I think, for everything. I think that includes summons as well.
I remember that being a part of fucking Infinite Bahamuts Forever. Once you have enough of the job master.
Alright, so our weapons this time are Excalibur.
Finally gave in to your base nature and got the cool sword.
I've gotten cool swords already. The Masamune is in my
I
inventory.
forgot about that. You had to get your namesake first.
Now that's true. Gaia Bell, so that I have an excuse to use Geomancer. Alright, here's Geomancer's weapon. Let's just fucking use it. Let's just finish up Geomancer, so I can get back to punching. Same thing for the bow. Let's just finish up Ranger too. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to finish up Ranger. I've got a ways to go there.
I don't even know who Yoichi is.
Their bow's okay, apparently. Alright, so let's leave the sealed temple. We're all done with everything today, so that's it. Oh, hey, Shield Dragon wants to play? No, here's Exdeath's soul. In World 3, instead of fighting Shield Dragon, Exdeath just astral projects into the sealed temple to try to kick your ass, and he just has instant death attacks. Also, he is undead, so that one-hit kill of mine didn't work on him, but his did work on me.
Wow, this fight could not be going worse, huh?
I mean, look, the worst person to take damage at this point is either Bartz because he has all the healing, or Krill because I can't heal her. She's a zombie.
I just meant like you start by inflicting instant death, which doesn't do anything, and then he instantly kills one of your guys, and then you accidentally heal him.
Fine, it's dandy. We've got Swords Dance. I also do like that the song just continues playing for this fight.
Just easy listening music.
We don't get boss music, but it's also just a continuation of the temple theme. Apparently later versions do actually switch it so it's just a fight song, but I don't know. This song is actually pretty good at setting a tone. It's a little different than what I would expect to fight the astral projected version of my main enemy, but I don't think it's too bad. So that was harrowing. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Final Fantasy V. Next time, we head off to the final of the 4 temples, Ice Story Falls. Hopefully Exdeath doesn't astral project there.